Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Coulton. We're continuing our conversations in the Lansing School District. Kamala Diaz, Associate Superintendent in the Lansing School District for Curriculum Instruction. You have been busy. It has been a busy year. Tell us what you're up to now.
Hi, Bob. Thank you so much for having me today. You're right. We have been busy. Lots of new and exciting things that we've learned over the past 8-10 months. And we're hoping to really take what we've learned and use it as a jumping off point for moving our district forward and developing some innovative programming that we would not have thought about in the past. So it's exciting to see what positives may come out of this very, very difficult time that we've been going through together.
And you've got a new initiative and project that you're starting immediately, right? It's a future planning project. Tell us about it.
Yes. So we're starting a project called the Rise Squared team. And Rise Squared stands for Redesigning Instructional Systems for Educational Equity. And within that Rise Squared kind of umbrella, overarching umbrella, we have 7 project teams that are going to be working in various capacities. So we're going to be looking at things like summer programs, K-12. We want our children to be invested and connected with us this summer. And so we're looking at how do we find a balance between really fun and engaging activities, as well as some much needed support in academics and social emotional learning. So we'll be having a team that will focus on those areas, looking at alternative education and our CTE programs. How can we expand our CTE programs? And what does the new alternative education look like? Can we maintain a fully online option for families moving forward through our alternative education programming? So really re-envisioning what alternative education looks like and what kinds of CTE programs might we be able to expand into. We added the Fire Science Academy this year, which has been wonderful. So just looking to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, I want you to talk a little bit though about the summer effort, because a lot of people aren't processing this. We know that soon, whenever kids will be back face to face in the classroom, we're planning for that. It'll happen. It's not a question of whether, but when. But also the summer is a great opportunity for kids in the Lansing School District. People would think that, you know, the old buildings couldn't really take a summer class, but you know, now all of the buildings are retrofitted and have new design and new equipment. They could really handle summer programming and kids in class, and it might be a great makeup opportunity here.
Absolutely. And that's what this project team will be working on, is what types of programming can we safely put in place for our students and families that will really help bridge some of the learning that we have obviously lost in this virtual environment. And we can't make up for the loss over summer programming, but how do we make our programs really intentional this summer? We have lots of outdoor spaces that we can utilize across our district to help with social distancing and airflow. So there are lots of things that we'll be looking at and hope to have that launched out to the community within the next few weeks so that they can begin planning for how they may want their child to participate. We'll also be looking at maintaining a virtual summer program. So for families who may not yet be comfortable having their students attend any type of face-to-face programming, we will be offering a continued screen-to-screen option during the summer for those students as well.
You know, given this unique COVID environment, and there are a lot of bad downsides to it, but on the positive side, in instruction and curriculum, you've probably learned a lot with this real-time sort of experiment online education, haven't you?
We absolutely have. We've kind of named them, coined them the pandemic positives. So recognizing that we can offer programming opportunities to students across the district in a way that we've not been able to do previously. For example, having students that may need an advanced course that isn't offered at their school, but can be put into their schedule through another school. So they are still enrolled in their foundational or primary school, but they're taking an advanced course from another school. And that's something that we haven't been able to do before. So we certainly are seeing a lot of positives out of this pandemic as we kind of peel back the layers that are frustrating and have really taken a toll on all of us. We're really trying to focus on some positive lessons that we've learned and ways that we can innovate with programming moving forward.
And I think teachers have really had to innovate during this time, and kids have had to adapt. And when you look at both, how do you think we've done?
To be honest, I think overall, our teachers and our students and their families have done an incredible job. This was certainly unprecedented in terms of everything. And I know that term is overused and a word that we probably want to remove from the English language moving forward. But to, in a matter of moments, have to shift from what we've all known, from what teachers have been trained in terms of teaching and learning, and to completely shift that to online for parents who have not used technology previously to suddenly be responsible for maintaining that technology and understanding that technology so they can support their student in their learning. It has been an astronomical challenge. Our departments, our technology department, in terms of getting devices out and fixing devices and responding to the needs, it's been overwhelming, and we've just continued to move forward. Sometimes it may have felt slow, but we always continued facing in the right direction and moving forward. And truly, I think, again, our teachers and our families, our students are incredibly resilient, and they've done an amazing job adapting to a system and a situation that none of us are happy about.
You know, I know that when we started the face-to-face online learning, it was certainly most challenging maybe with younger kids, kindergartners, first, second grade. Having them stay online is really a challenge and commitment. But what did some of the teachers do to really get kids engaged and have them focus on instruction? We've made some adaptations too, where the younger kids aren't on all day as maybe when we started or thought that could happen. So talk a little bit about the evolution of education.
So in terms of adaptations, I think at each grade level and in each different school based on themes and programs and systems that they previously had in place, teachers have come up with innumerable creative ways to get their students engaged. Our littles, imagine having 3 and 4-year-olds sitting in a circle in a classroom where you can move around and physically put your hand on their shoulder, encourage them, talk with them, really get down on their level and make that eye contact. And suddenly they're in boxes on a screen, and you're in a box on a screen for them. So really having to get creative and think about entertainment in a different way tied to that education, because now they're kind of watching you on TV. So how do I bring myself to life in a different way on this 2-dimensional screen in the way that I would have been able to were I face to face with these children? And they've come up with just songs and activities and interactive systems in their classrooms to engage students in ways, again, another pandemic positive that they have never thought possible. And I think that we've learned that many of these tools for engagement are ways that we can continue engaging students as we return face to face. So parents and certainly community members could visit classrooms if they wanted to, to take a peek and see what some of our teachers are doing. But it's been pretty incredible incredible, the adaptations and the creativity that our teachers have brought to the table.
And some of this stuff will really stick as we move back to in-class instruction, right? I mean, some of the things that have been evolved and developed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have learned a lot, and we know that there are benefits to continuing this type of instruction for some of our students. We have some students that have thrived in this environment. It's a small number, but this is their mode. And we need to remember that every student needs something different, and that having this option moving forward for students that this has really clicked for them, that needs to be an option. So we've learned some really valuable lessons in terms of design for curriculum instruction and how we can best meet the needs of all of our students as we move forward.
And so on the project you're working on now with the new team, you're going to really look at how you sort of put this in a plan and a pathway in the future, right?
Absolutely. One of the project teams is focused 100% on the new normal, and what that will look like when we start next year. So this team is separate from the Beyond Screen to Screen team.
Yeah.
So there is the Beyond Screen to Screen committee that's working around what's happening this school year, 2020, 2021. The Rise Squared team that I'm talking about is expressly focused on the new normal in 21, 22 and beyond. So there are two parallel groups working on similar things, but for different time frames. So I want to make sure that the audience is clear that as I'm talking about the new normal for fall, that's not a replacement of the Beyond Screen to Screen team that's working on the here and now.
Well, it's great because different groups, different people might bring different ideas and innovations and ways to solve problems and critical decision making all to the table, and the district can really sort of interface all of the things that happen in the planning process. And there really is a lot to plan for. Not only are we planning coming back as soon as possible in the classroom, but also summer, and then, as you say, beyond. And it seems that the Lansing School District has always had people who work really well together.
Absolutely. The Beyond Screen to Screen committee has staff members at all levels across the district, as well as community members, board members. The Rise Squared team will have most of the same, not the same people, but the same representation. We have parents, community members, and staff from all levels of the district, so that everyone's voice can come to the table. Teachers, counselors, nurses, student support specialists, mental health specialists, principals, central office, again, parents and community members. So it's really important that we bring in the voices from across all of those stakeholder groups, so that we can bring lots of creative ideas forward and ultimately make a decision around what's best for our students and our district moving forward.
Well, Kamala, what else do you think parents, teachers, staff, and students really need to know about in the district moving forward with instruction?
I think there are lots of things happening right now, many of which still feel overwhelming for some of our staff and some of our families. But what I want everyone, I think, to understand in all of those groups is that we're going to continue to move forward. We're going to continue to challenge ourselves, to learn new things, to recognize what's best for our students, and know that that's not always going to be the same, and to find ways to support our teachers so that they can best support our students. If we don't support our teachers, they can't support our students. So they are a very important layer in this as well. Obviously, our business and our responsibility, first and foremost, is to our students, but our teachers impact our students directly. So they are a very important part of this as well. And ultimately, our families. as we're working to support them as well through this time. So lots of layers, but all really important part of the whole, and that will continue to work together to move the district forward.
Well, Kamala Diaz, thank you a lot for your time and efforts in the Lansing School District. We appreciate this brief time out from all of the busy things you have to do to download a little to the public. Thank you again. I'm Bob Colt, and we'll continue our conversations in the Lansing School District.
Thank you.